we've seen in the past how they've had a bit of a wobble during the season, not necessarily this early on in the season, but they've always been able to rectify themselves. And looking at the next series of fixtures, I mean, at home against Brighton, we know what Brighton have achieved so far this season. They've got a Champions League tie against Young Boys, then it's a Manchester derby, up against Bournemouth at home, and then more Champions League, Chelsea and Liverpool. All until, what, the start of December, end of November, around that period. It's daunting for City.
That's exactly what they want. I don't think they see that as any particular crazy run of fixtures. Champions League come thick and fast. They've had a lot of injuries, players coming back now. Rodri's obviously come back into the situation. Great to see John Stones back in the picture. Obviously Kevin De Bruyne is the long-term injury, but I just think that's a normal run. I think that the pressure increases when you don't get the results, and ultimately that they haven't done that in the last three. Newcastle was an indifferent game with lots of change. The Wolves one was probably the one that added the pressure going into this game. Yeah. Great reaction in Leipzig. But obviously those two particular Premier League games is the things that's turned it up a little bit. But no, they're fixtures that I've expected. Maybe I'm trying to underplay it a little bit.
Perhaps.
The Manchester derby.
Think,
Brighton will be really interesting as well. Fascinating game.
I think, Mike, if you're a successful type of individual, and Pep clearly is, you see that as a positive, right? Okay, we can put down another marker. We've got some tricky games coming up, but if we win these games, we're in really good shape, and everyone then starts to take that aura comes back again, doesn't it? So that's what they're about. They're not really looking at the opponent; it's about them getting it right. So there'll be messages today that you won't be happy with. As you said, that one-touch, two-touch football, but it wasn't quick enough. So we've got to move the ball quicker. It's interesting. Jack Grealish came across there disappointed that he didn't get on.
He looked disappointed.
Yeah, played very well midweek, but I think that's about managing minutes. And the managers look really worried because he's lost Silva, he's lost so many players with injury. He's thinking, no, Jack, you wait. There'll be other games for you. Do you know?
I just think that's normal. Every player in this squad. I think that's where he manages the squad. He's lucky that there's not a ton of players. He's got 4 or 5 you could always say, well, I deserve to start. After that, there's a couple of younger ones, a couple of players who are happy to be in and around that 18, and he managed it well. Other football clubs, as you know, have got far too many and they can't fit them in, and that's sometimes
I just feel, with Jack, this was his breakthrough game last season. In February, when he came here, he scored, didn't he? And it was, it seemed like it was his moment that, right, okay, I've been here for a year and haven't really, played that often he did last year. And it was like, I'm now in charge. I'm going to be a part of this success. And it was a really nice night for him.
He took a bad knock and real big swelling, Joe, and he missed a few games, but he's come back. He's just trying to settle into the situation, and it just takes a couple of weeks to get going. And obviously as well, Martin, with a couple of the results, a couple of things that are being around the situation, it hasn't helped. And has obviously gone against him. We decided not to put him on. We thought he possibly could. But I think if you look at the wide areas, you're sort of saying, well, yeah, was Foden doing okay? Yes, he was. And you look and say, well, Bernardo's come inside. He's gone with Doku to try and increase that pace, to do it a little bit quicker.
And in the midfield area.
Really? So, just sometimes it doesn't feel like the game, was suited at times for a particular player. Yeah. And that's what a top manager's all about.
Keep them all guessing.
Keep them all guessing, indeed.